Hi everybody, welcome to a new video. So in the last few videos I mentioned that I was going to do some decluttering videos, and I thought that while I'm in the spare room that I would bring you along and show you some of the things that I'm currently going to be getting rid of and clearing out of this room. So the room that I'm in at the moment is what I would call my office. It's not really an office. It has a desk, it has craft things, it has a mini TV and the old PlayStation and all that sort of thing. It doesn't really get used a lot. If I come in here, it's usually for me. I would do craft things, or I would organize some face painting related things in here. To be honest, I don't really use this room very often because I tend to do a lot of my stuff out in the lounge room, but it is nice to have my own space that I can come to and do craft things. I have a friend who I do craft with. Sometimes we come in here and do that. It is a good space to have because my husband does teach from home. So, you know, when Kyle has students and stuff like that for piano, I can come here to sort of get away from any noise and all that sort of stuff, watch YouTube or, you know, do craft things or whatever. So I've already technically gotten started, but I will show you what I'm going to be getting rid of. I've got like a couple of bags of just stuff. Things have accumulated in here. You know, I'm going to be transparent. There are things in here that aren't quite minimalist because they've accumulated over the, you know, several months or whatever it's been. That has just sort of come in here. Things that I've needed for work things. Most of the stuff in here is things that I've bought for work, you know, that sort of thing, like for face painting and crafts and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to spin the camera around, or phone, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so this is currently kind of like a wide angle view of my room, and there's quite a lot in here. Depending on what kind of minimalism you practice in your life and what you believe is essential is totally up to you. For me personally, I would say the majority of the things in this room I don't need. They're not essential, but some of them I have because they are handy. Some of them we've had in here for a long time because we haven't been able to get rid of them because they're, you know, bulky items like this TV cabinet and stuff like that. And it's also sometimes they're used because we have a spare TV in here and the kids use it, that kind of thing. So it really depends. But for my own purpose, this room would probably be almost empty. But this is also a workspace. So it is in need of tidying up and, you know, getting rid of things that I don't need and sorting out stuff that I do need and that sort of stuff. So that's what today's video is going to be about. Let me put this into normal view and we'll go through this room. So we've got some tinsel up here. This was my husband's. It serves no purpose. It was for obviously Kyle's office for teaching during the Christmas holidays, and then I ended up using it during the holidays for using in my face painting stall. It's now here. It doesn't need to be here, but I will consult with Kyle and see if they still want to use it. So I've got shelves here that were given to me. The purpose for them is no longer required, so I'll be getting rid of those. The books will be staying because they're colouring in books and my daughter's Pokemon. This is also my daughter's. This TV cabinet we've had for a while now. This is my eldest's PlayStation 3 that they have specific games for, so that stays. I do have my plushies here. I have some things down here, some books, they will be staying. I have a few little things that need to be put away in places. I have some wands here, fairy wands that I've been making and selling. However, I won't be selling them at the markets anymore, mainly because my focus is mainly on the face painting itself. But I will keep these here because I have party bookings and it would be great to be able to give these as little gifts at the party and those sort of things. I've got my desk over here. It is a little bit of a mess at the moment. You can see there's a whole bunch of glittery things through here that I need to clean up. But what I've actually done today is I've gone through the things that I have, the things that I want to get rid of. So this is a bag full of things that I no longer need, that I'll be getting rid of. And this is a donation box down here. I'll be getting rid of those ones. I'll be recycling those. This is a case that I will be keeping just in case I do want to continue using it, or if not, if I don't end up using it, I can give that and donate that case, because that was the metal makeup face painting case that I've been using, but I haven't been using it. It hasn't been serving me the purpose as what I thought it would. Down here is a basket of things that I currently am using or will need. I need to sort of go through it a little bit more. I have just gotten rid of some of the things that I don't need in it, but currently this is the stuff that I will need. Like, there's things here like cords. I'm not quite sure where they go just yet, so I'm not going to throw them out just in case they do belong to somebody in my family and I don't want to throw out stuff that actually was needed. I have a few face painting things here, as you can see, that yeah, they're work related stuff, and I will be using them. This is the thing, especially when it comes to work supplies, I don't want to throw them out because I'm not using them right now, because I know that maybe, you know, in 3 months time I actually might need this container again, because that's what I've been using previously for face painting. I'm not quite sure. In a couple of months I might actually think I don't need this anymore, so I will throw it out. I have some other things over here that were face painting related. My daughter's ukulele. I have some books down here. I have another rubbish bin here that will be thrown out, and these are some craft things, like some crochet projects that I've already done. They will be gifts, and I have some yarn and stuff there. This is my desk. I've decided to, you know, any stickers and stuff that come into my life, I am going to put them on here, because when I'm working and being creative, they make me smile. They make me really happy. But yeah, I mean, I know eventually I will probably pass this desk along, but at the moment it is serving a purpose. I sit here to do journaling. I sit here to do face painting things. As you can see, I've been mixing a whole bunch of glitter, as I said there was glitter. So it's a whole bunch of glitter and stuff there. That was just done 2 nights ago. I haven't had a chance to get in and clean it up. I have spare face paint supplies, the stuff that I need, like my gold. I got a container here of the red that I want to wash out so that I can reuse the jar if I need to, that kind of thing. This is my glitter tattoo kit. I've actually made some changes to my kit and what I'm doing at markets, the difference between doing the markets and having private parties and things like that. So I have a packet of ibuprofen. I have a bowl here that I was meant to mix glitter in, but I didn't. This is my creamy wax stuff that I mix glitters with. And then I have just a container here of all my gems, spare paintbrushes, and these are all work related things. So as you can see, most of the things here are work related. They just need to be tidied up and organized. Have some more like magnets, some bells. Down here, I won't go into too much because there are some personal details in here. I have a journal, I have some glue, envelopes, business cards, receipts for work purposes, like when I do my tax and stuff like that, you know, expenses that I've done on my business and that sort of thing. So yeah, you know, most of the stuff in here is work stuff. And yeah, we're coming up to Yule in a couple of months here in Australia, the winter solstice. So I'm going to be putting this wreath on the door. And this is my new tablecloth for when I'm doing face painting. I bought a stretchy, I think I might have talked about it, but I said I was getting rid of my other tablecloth. And so this is my new tablecloth that's just arrived. So just putting it down there off the desk. And yeah, so, you know, that's kind of where we're at the moment. Anything that I'm going to be decluttering here, obviously I'm not going to show you because it's personal papers. But yeah, so that's it for today's video. I don't really think that there's a lot of stuff to show you. Like, each individual item that I want to get rid of, because a lot of the things that I am throwing out are just little bits and pieces that are work related. Some things obviously I can't show you because they have personal items, personal papers, people's details, those kind of things, and other things just like craft supplies that I no longer use that I'll donate, those kind of things. We're not really the kind of people to just buy stuff and then be like, oh, I spent $300 on this item and now I no longer need it, so I'm going to pass it on. A lot of these things, as I said, have accumulated over time. A lot of it is work related things, and yeah, just crafts and things that I didn't really finish or something like that. So I don't particularly think that they're that interesting, but I thought that I would just show you some of the things that I am doing at the moment, kind of where my head is at when it comes to decluttering and tidying up. A lot of the things in here is just simply tidying up things that have accumulated over a bit of time, and I no longer need them. And I have talked about it in previous videos where I'm not huge on making, weekly decluttering videos, because I think that, if you have things to throw out every single week and then new things kind of thing, you're not doing too great on the minimalism side. I could make a decluttering video maybe every 6 months or more, every 6 to 12 months, because we don't really bring a lot of things in that I think, they're no longer working, so I need to throw them out, or we've changed our mind, we need to throw things out. I would say the majority of things that we do throw out is just kind of everyday trash, everyday rubbish, whether it's empty containers or supplies that have run out, whether it's face painting supplies, glitter, maybe some old yarn that I bought, maybe thinking that they're going to be nice, but then I decided I don't like working with it, so I'll donate it to somebody. Those kind of things. I don't really know if I just don't buy a lot of stuff. I don't, even when it comes to crafts and things like that, there's no point in me doing like a review on yarn that I can't even remember the brand of. Some yarns I've gotten on special 2 years ago and it's been sitting in a bag. Like, there's no point in doing like a yarn review, because I just don't really buy a lot of stuff. I think the thing that I've been buying the most of recently is just food, because we need to eat, and face painting supplies. And even when I want to treat myself to something fun, it's going to either be glitter or face painting supplies, because I enjoy that. I enjoy my job as a face painter, and to me, buying new face painting supplies is a treat to myself. I don't need to buy, handbags and, fancy jewelry and watches and stuff, because I don't really get that much enjoyment from those kind of things. When it comes to accessories and clothing and all that sort of stuff, as you know, if you've been watching my videos over time, I'm not that big on fashion. I don't really like fast fashion and keeping up with trends. It's just not my thing. I don't need expensive jewelry and all that sort of stuff. I like simple things, but I treat myself to, going to a cafe and having coffee and breakfast with my family, or we will, we'll watch something on a streaming. Instead of going out for dinner and going to fancy places, we'll buy popcorn and make popcorn at home and watch a movie at home, kind of thing. Pretty simple, but it's really nice. And as I said, the things that I treat myself to, it will either be like coffee or something like a cake or something sweet, and face painting supplies, because I enjoy face painting and playing around with those kind of things. So yeah, that's kind of my view. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I don't know if it's, very that interesting, but it is another view into how I see minimalism, and what it is that I need to, declutter and whatever. One thing that I did want to mention is, I have mentioned it before about my soft toys. I do have a collection of stuff, plushies. They bring a lot of joy into my life. That actually is something that I do like to treat myself to. They bring a lot of comfort and joy into my life. A lot of them I don't need. Many of them have been gifts that I just look at and I'm just like, oh, they're so cute. You make me really, really happy. But it's not like a happy that I need to have them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to have those things in my life to be happy, but they put a smile on my face. And I think in life, if something is genuinely making you happy and putting a smile on your face and you get the value from them, and it's because this is what you want, not because you think that you should have them because society told you that you should have something. I think that's the difference. You know, if society says that you need a brand new car and that's going to make you look, you know, wealthy or whatever it is, that is not really my thing. If I buy a plush toy, it's because it makes me smile and it makes me want to cuddle into it and watch a movie with it, and it's comfort, like a nice blanket. You know, a nice soft blanket feels really comfortable and cozy, and so does a plush toy. So anyway, I'm going to go for now. My next video, I will be going into the closet in the hallway. There are some things I do need to declutter in there, so I'll bring you along to that. Probably, what's today? Thursday. I have markets on Saturday, so probably sometime early next week, I think. Yeah, so until next time, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.